When a well-known Korean commentator publicly referred to BTS's Jungkook as Korea's national treasure, the reactions spread across social media platforms like wildfire. Fans, industry professionals, and even casual observers began dissecting the remark. Was this an exaggeration? Or was it a statement grounded in undeniable truth? What makes Jungkook so significant in the cultural, social, and even economic landscape of South Korea that a respected commentator would choose such an honorific phrase? To understand the gravity of the claim, it is necessary to unpack Jungkook's role in shaping perceptions of Korea on the global stage, his influence on the entertainment industry, and the way his persona connects with both domestic and international audiences. The phrase national treasure is not used lightly in Korea. It typically refers to cultural artifacts, historical sites, or works of art that embody the heritage and spirit of the nation. For a living person, especially a pop star, to be described in this way is both rare and deeply symbolic. Jungkook, through years of consistent artistry, discipline, and global influence, has managed to carve a space where the label does not feel misplaced. Yet, when the commentator uttered it, there was an audible sense of surprise, even shock. The term suggested something beyond mere fame. It implied preservation, value, pride, and continuity. Jungkook's rise was meteoric, but it was also marked by discipline and intentional choices. From his debut as the youngest member of BTS, he quickly established himself as an all-rounder, a singer with remarkable vocal stability, a dancer with precision, and a performer who carried both charisma and humility. Over the years, his persona evolved from a golden matinee into a figure seen as embodying not just the hopes of fans, but also the image of a generation of Koreans who seek global recognition without losing their roots. In this sense, the commentator's use of the term national treasure reflects Jungkook's embodiment of the Korean dream in a modern, globalized era. He is not merely an entertainer, but a living export of Korean culture, presenting to the world not only K-pop music, but also values of perseverance, respect, and cultural pride. His success validates the strength of Korea's cultural wave and adds a human face to the term Hallyu. To understand why the statement was shocking, one must look at how the phrase is used in Korean cultural context. National treasures are things to be protected, revered, and preserved for future generations. They are seen as integral to the nation's identity, often tied to traditional arts, heritage, or ancient history. For a modern artist like Jungkook to be described this way, it signals that he has transcended the boundaries of pop stardom. His influence is considered as impactful as a centuries-old painting or a royal palace preserved for historical memory. It is no small feat. While other public figures may achieve fame, very few are elevated to the level of representing the nation's essence. Jungkook, through his music, global recognition, and the pride he brings to Korea, now stands as an example of a living embodiment of cultural identity in motion. The commentator's shock seemed to stem from the boldness of equating a contemporary idol with a timeless treasure. But the resonance of the phrase cannot be denied. Global recognition as a source of national pride. Jungkook's name consistently trends worldwide, whether due to a new song release, a fashion campaign, or even a simple airport appearance. His ability to command global attention has not only boosted BTS's reach, but also amplified Korea's position in global cultural diplomacy. South Korea has long sought to build influence through cultural exports, film, drama, and K-pop, and Jungkook has become one of the most recognizable symbols of this movement. International media often refers to him as the main pop boy of the world, or pop icon of his generation. This isn't just an achievement for Jungkook, but also for Korea, which benefits economically and diplomatically from the heightened global attention. The commentator's choice of words might have been surprising, but they were rooted in the recognition that Jungkook is more than just an entertainer. He is an asset to Korea's cultural identity on the world stage. The emotional impact on fans and citizens. For fans, hearing Jungkook described as a national treasure resonated deeply. Many have followed his journey since his teenage years, watching him grow not only in skill but in character. The label affirmed what they had long felt, that Jungkook is not just a star to admire, but a source of pride for Korea. On the other hand, for non-fans or ordinary citizens, the statement sparked reflection on the role of pop idols in society. Could a singer truly carry the weight of national heritage? Yet, when considering Jungkook's contributions, his role in opening doors for Korean culture, his record-breaking achievements, and the global respect he commands, the title does not feel misplaced. The commentator's shock might reflect the hesitation to equate contemporary culture with traditional heritage, but the world has changed. Today, cultural influence is not just preserved in museums, but also lived, performed, and streamed across digital platforms. Jungkook is proof that Korea's cultural treasures can evolve into new forms without losing their value, fashion, branding, and Korea's image. Beyond music, Jungkook's collaborations with global fashion houses have cemented his role as a face of modern Korean influence. His partnership with Calvin Klein, for example, has not only elevated the brand's visibility, but also reinforced Korea's association with global trend-setting. When Jungkook appears in a campaign, it is not only about the product, it is about the Korean figure wearing it. In this way, Jungkook transforms every endorsement into an act of cultural diplomacy. Korean brands and international companies alike recognize the unique power he wields. His face becomes synonymous with excellence, style, and influence, all qualities that reinforce the perception of Korea as a creative and dynamic nation. Artistic integrity and personal discipline. What separates Jungkook from many other global stars is his unwavering discipline and consistency. He is known for his relentless practice, his pursuit of perfection on stage, and his ability to deliver live performances that match or even surpass studio recordings. This integrity in artistry reflects values that resonate deeply in Korean culture: hard work, dedication, and humility. The commentator's shock could also stem from the recognition that Jungkook's artistry cannot be reduced to mere commercial success. He represents the intangible qualities of Korean spirit, resilience, excellence, and innovation. These are the same qualities celebrated in Korea's historical treasures. Only now they are embodied in a living person who can project them to billions across the globe. Shock as a reflection of transition. Ultimately, the moment of shock when Jungkook was called Korea's national treasure reflects a transitional period in cultural recognition. Korea is moving from a nation that primarily preserved its historical treasures to one that now also creates new, living treasures through global influence. The hesitation in calling Jungkook a national treasure lies in the tension between tradition and modernity. Yet the embrace of such a label suggests an acknowledgement that culture is not static. Jungkook's significance does not erase or replace Korea's historical treasures, it adds to them. He represents a new form of cultural asset, one that is not confined to museums or historical sites, but exists in the present, interacting with the world in real time. The commentator's remark, though initially shocking, may well be remembered as the moment Korea formally recognized Jungkook not only as a star, but as an enduring symbol of national pride. The commentator's remark highlighted how deeply embedded Jungkook is in Korea's global reputation. Just as historical treasures represent Korea's resilience and heritage, Jungkook represents Korea's adaptability and influence in a hyper-connected modern world. The shock in labeling him as a national treasure may stem from the realization that Korea's identity is no longer bound solely to the past. It is also being actively written by living cultural icons. Being called a national treasure is not just an honor, it is a responsibility. Treasures must be protected, preserved, and safeguarded. When applied to a living person like Jungkook, it raises questions about the weight of expectations placed on his shoulders. Can a 27-year-old global star bear the responsibility of representing a nation's pride? What happens when the pressures of fame collide with the expectations of cultural symbolism? Fans often express concern about Jungkook's well-being, noting how relentless schedules, media scrutiny, and the demand for perfection can take a toll. Yet part of what makes Jungkook deserving of the title is his resilience. He continues to deliver excellence despite the pressures, maintaining a sense of authenticity that resonates deeply with people. The commentator's shock may have been, in part, an acknowledgement of how rare it is for a young individual to embody such composure while carrying so much weight. Another dimension to the national treasure title is the way Jungkook bridges Korea's traditional values with its modern aspirations. In his artistry and public image, he consistently demonstrates respect for elders, humility despite success, and loyalty to his team values deeply embedded in Korean culture. Yet, he simultaneously embraces modernity, pushing musical boundaries, experimenting with global genres, and collaborating with international artists. This balance allows Jungkook to serve as a bridge between generations. Older Koreans see in him the values they cherish, while younger fans see innovation, independence, and creativity. His ability to exist comfortably in both realms strengthens his position as a figure who truly represents Korea, not a single aspect of it, but its evolving identity. Numbers and statistics alone cannot explain why the world responded so strongly to the commentator's words. At its core, the emotional connection people feel with Jungkook is what makes the national treasure label resonate. Fans describe him as an artist who inspires them to work harder, live authentically, and pursue dreams despite obstacles. His story, from a teenager with talent to a global icon, is one of perseverance and growth. When the commentator called him a national treasure, the moment captured not just his achievements, but also the emotional landscape he has shaped for millions. For many, Jungkook is a symbol of hope, proof that someone from a small city in Korea can become a household name around the world without losing kindness or humility. This human connection transforms him from a star into something far more enduring, a living emblem of Korea's aspirations and values. The shock, embedded in the commentator's statement, reveals an evolving definition of national treasure. Traditionally, it referred to artifacts preserved from the past. Today, it may also refer to living figures who embody the nation's spirit in real time, projecting it globally in ways that museums or monuments cannot. Jungkook's case forces Korea to reconsider what it chooses to treasure. Is it only the heritage of centuries past, or also the living embodiments of culture that carry national pride into the future? By embracing Jungkook as a national treasure, Korea acknowledges that culture is not static. It evolves, adapts, and expresses itself through figures who command the world's attention.